Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, January the 17th, 2021. It is currently 9:20 a.m. Central Time. I'm here at Victory Baptist Church doing live streaming. I've been here since 7 a.m. At 10 a.m., obviously, I'm supposed to be live on the air for our Sunday school hour, and then at 11 a.m. for our morning worship hour. And then I'll be back this afternoon for some more live streaming. But in the midst of all of that, I also try to check my email to see what people may be sending me. And I just got an email, and I'm going to bring this to everyone's attention. We need to place the following in this category. More research is needed, more information is needed, but I at least wanted to bring it to everyone's attention. Now, obviously, I have been yelling and screaming about the political hijacking of American Christianity for it seems like my entire Christian life, all right? And sadly, I feel that in many cases, people did not heed my warning, did not listen to me, and Christianity has become more and more politically hijacked by the day, by the week. We did a lengthy discussion about the situation with American Family Radio and their program Exploring the Word, where basically at the end of their program, I mean, there's no way to get around it. They basically were saying that it's right for Christians not only to take up arms to defend themselves, but to take up arms to go on the offensive. And then they really then try, if you follow their logic, this is basically what they say. We're not going to say the American Revolution wasn't, biblically supported, that, you can't support the American Revolution without the Bible. We can't say you can say that. We can't say you can't say that. But I want you to think about this. The American Revolution, look what they fought for. They fought because of taxation without representation, because they were being oppressed, and they took up arms and they fought. Well, look at our world today. Our world today is far worse than it was then. So by that logic, then it's time for Christians to take up arms and fight. And you're like, what? Whoa, did I just hear on Christian radio trying to give a logical, at least trying to give a logical, I won't say logical, trying to give a reason to support Christians taking up arms and fighting today? Did I just hear that on a national Christian radio network? Now, I contacted American Family Radio. They ignored me, of course. A reporter did contact them. They did contact that reporter, and they didn't really walk back their statement. They just simply said, well, we're not saying the American Revolution was supported by the Bible, but we're not saying it wasn't supported by the Bible. We're just saying that if you look then and you look now is in many cases worse than then. So yeah, what are you saying? You're almost offering a justification for Christians to take up arms. That was disturbing, troubling, horrific, especially considering that program on American Family Radio aired just literally days after what happened at the Capitol building. Well, someone just sent me an article that appears, at least on the surface, to be just as disturbing and just as concerning. But again, let me make it very clear. What I'm about to give you needs more research. I'm not making any dogmatic assertion about anything I'm about to share with you, but someone just sent it to me, so I want to share it with you, and then you can see it. All right, here we go. Here's the article that was sent. A Christian fundraising site for extremists. A Christian fundraising site for extremists. Now, okay, I'm like, okay, wait. So we've got a Christian fundraising site, and they're fundraising or doing fundraising for extremists. Now, what do they mean by extremist? Is that just anyone who claims to be a Christian is an extremist? What are they possibly referring to? So that's the headline, a Christian fundraising site for extremists. Underneath that headline, we read these words. Christian fundraising site raises $100,000 for far-right group. So I guess Christians, go to this site, and then they gave money to a far-right group. Okay, what group are they referring to? Now, the photo right under that has someone with a Proud Boys shirt on. Did they raise $100,000 for the Proud Boys? Is that what's going on? Okay, I don't know. Let's continue. All right. Here's the name of here's the Christian fundraising site that's being called into question by this article. GiveSendGo. GiveSendGo. Now, if we pull up, I'm going to pull up I'm going to do a Google search for GiveSendGo. GiveSendGo. It's GiveSendGo.com. GiveSendGo.com. When you pull it up, this is literally what it says. Number one free Christian crowdfunding site. So this is the number one free Christian crowdfunding site. All right. Okay. All right. I'm just looking at some of the things that people are giving money to. They've got a thing here for trending campaigns. All right. I'm looking here. And man, people are raising some serious money on here. All right. This is like $185,000, $5,000, $6,622. Wow. This campaign, they've raised $36,000 out of $50,000. Yeah, so some serious money is being raised on this platform, all right? But again, it is GiveSendGo.com. You can look at it for yourself. And again, it is labeled number one free Christian crowdfunding site. Number one, all right? Now, let's go back to the article. GiveSendGo advertises itself as the number one free Christian crowdfunding site. Now, we just verified that. That is true. All right, so they advertise themselves as the number one free Christian crowdfunding site in the world. Apparently, it is a place to fund hope, a place to work together with the body of Christ around the world to make a difference. You can donate money to many worthwhile causes at this website, including those who have tragically lost loved ones or fallen on hard times. But that's not all. Once you start to dig a little deeper, you will find that the website is peppered with questionable fundraising campaigns with largely far-right-wing political objectives. I suppose the good people at GiveSendGo believe that those fundraising efforts fit in within the scope of the platform's stated purpose of making a difference for the cause of the Christian message. So let me read that to you again. If you dig a little deeper into the website, you'll find that it's peppered with questionable fundraising campaigns, largely far right-wing political objectives. Please note, here's are groups with far right-wing political objectives. And so the author of this article raises the question, so I suppose that the good people at GiveSendGo believe that these fundraising efforts are fit within the scope of their stated purpose. Remember, their stated purpose is to make a difference for the cause of the Christian message. So now are we trying to raise money to make a difference for the cause of the Christian message by supporting largely far right-wing political objectives? See, that's the very thing I've been talking about. We somehow think the cause of the Christian message can be accomplished by political objectives. It cannot be. All right, but let's continue. For example, you can help Megan fund her trip to Washington, D.C. so that she can participate in the pro-Trump gatherings in the nation's capital. Yeah, that worked out really good, didn't it? Yeah, that worked out wonderful. Okay. So yeah, I guess, and then it says, help me get to D.C. We concede nothing. Rigged election. So here they allowed someone to post, a crowdfunding campaign for you to get her to Washington so that she can stand against the rigged election because we concede nothing. The very conspiracy theory that led people to basically do what they did at the Capitol building, this never-ending conspiracy theory that it was all stolen, it was all ripped off, and even though all of the legal avenues to prove that, they never were able to prove it. But okay, so let's support someone to go to the Capitol building. That's wonderful. I guess that's a Christian cause. That's a Christian cause, I guess. All right, let's continue. If that doesn't take your fancy, you might consider donating to a group of people who call themselves the Patriots. End quotations. They are also on their way to Washington, D.C., where they plan to make liberals cry again. So they want to go to make liberals cry. That sounds like a good Christian cause. So let's, on a Christian crowdfunding site, where supposedly you're trying to support Christian causes, you're going to have someone so that they can raise money so that they can go. They raised $1,000. They raised $1,000 on based off this. I mean, maybe I should say, hey, support my podcast where we go against all of your crazy political conspiracy theories and the political hijacking of Christianity. I wonder if I would raise $1,000. I probably would raise negative. They probably would send me a bill. All right, but okay. So there we go. So So they raised $1,000 to send someone to Washington so they could make some liberals cry again. Yeah, I wonder how did that work out? All right. Wait a minute. Let's continue. If that is a little too extreme for you, you could also give to Melissa. She's looking for funds to write a book on election fraud. You might remember that her as the star witness in Donald Trump's legal campaign to overturn the result of the presidential election. For the record, her testimony was deemed as not credible, and she was laughed out of court. But hey, go to a Christian website, and people will give you money. Guess what? Her goal was $20,000. She's raised $9,000. She's raised $9,000. This woman who was laughed out of court for not being credible, but she goes to a Christian crowdfunding site. Hey, give me some money. I can write a book about the election fraud. And someone gave her $9,000. Christianity, man, Christianity. All right. And after all that giving, if you still have some change in your purse, perhaps you could spare a few dollars for the legal defense fund of Enrique Terrio. In case you've never heard of this inconsequential person, Enrique is the international chairman of the Proud Boys. Wow. So on the number one Christian crowdfunding site, they have the ability, they have a campaign to raise money for the legal defense fund. He's the international chairman of the Proud Boys. And the Proud Boys is defined as a far-right, neo-fascist, male-only political organization that promotes and engages in political violence. The Anti-Defamation League describes Proud Boys as extremist, conservative, overly Islamophobic, misogynistic, transphobic, anti-immigration, all too willing to embrace racist, anti-Semites, and bigots of all kinds, and notes the group's promotion and use of violence as a core tactic. Right? Yeah. So that's... So back to Enrique, and I'm believing that's how his name is pronounced, Enrique Terrio, Tario maybe. GiveSendGo, the world's number one Christian fundraising platform, has helped raise over $100,000 for his legal defense after he was arrested for the burning of a Black Lives Matter banner, which he stole from a historical Washington, D.C. church. And he was also found in possession of illegal firearms. So that's what Christian supports now. Hey, he went to a church, ripped down something from a church. He stole the banner from a church, right? From a church. Okay, that's not right. And he had illegal firearms. But hey, on a Christian fundraising platform, however they describe themselves, hey, you can. There it is. $1,013 Yeah, it looks like over $1,000. They want to raise $200,000. So he raised over $100,000. Wow. Okay. The founder of GiveSendGo is a woman named Heather Wilson, recently acknowledged that her site has a number of campaigns that lean towards the far right and puts this down to censorship by other crowdfunding sites such as GoFundMe. Hey, GoFundMe won't allow some of these people to do crowdfunding, but hey, come to the Christian site. And hey, if you get arrested for stealing something from the church and burning it and caught with illegal firearms, you can raise money for your legal defense because, hey, that's what Christianity is all about. All right. It says, so let me see here. She goes, Wilson maintains that the GiveSendGo website models Jesus' behavior in the Gospels. According to Wilson, Jesus was ridiculed by the religious right, by the Pharisees, by the legalistic for hanging around with drunkards and sinners, said Wilson. And we look at that and say, okay, if what we have is a platform where quote unquote drunkards and sinners are showing up, what an opportunity for us to actually share the hope of Jesus. Okay, I guess I can understand that. It says Christian news sources such as the Christian Post and Christian Headlines have reported on the fundraising project on GiveSendGo, but have noticeably stopped short of condemning the campaign. And they're talking about the guy from Proud Boys. So I guess in their silence, I will step up to the plate. Even as I wrote this article, I felt my blood start to boil. The idea that Jesus Christ would somehow support the right-wing political agendas of so-called Christians is so completely at odds with the Christ that I know, that I can't help but shake my head. Heather Wilson was right about one thing. Jesus Christ strongly opposed the religious right. That is not to say that he was strongly in favor of the religious left either. He was simply the preeminent teacher of love and grace, and his concepts and precepts were so simple that even a small child could understand them. All right. Although many adults struggle with do unto others as you would have them do unto you, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you, and love others as you love yourself. If Jesus aligned himself with anything, it was nothing more than an expansive and all-encompassing love for God and one's fellow man. He was a man of peace. These principles deserve bipartisan support, and they are apolitical. I agree with all of that. It says, a few thoughts for the good people at GiveSendGo. Perhaps the reason that other platforms like GoFundMe won't allow fundraising campaigns like these is because the values they represent are actually morally and ethically reprehensible to the majority of decent human beings on the planet. Violent, racist, extremist, Islamophobic, misogynistic, transphobic, homophobic, anti-Semitic, conspiracy theorist groups and individuals should have as many obstacles as possible placed in their way. I applaud GoFundMe for refusing to enable fundraising far-right, neo-fascist extremist groups and other leaders. What a sad indictment that they were then welcomed with open arms by the so-called Christian fundraising website. So as long as you get your kickbacks, Heather, who cares about the moral and ethical implications of your enabling of far-right extremist groups, right? Give me a break. It is an embarrassment that your so-called Christian fundraising site dares to attach the name of Christ to it, and I, for one, will call it out. And this was written by a person by the name of Dan Foster. Now, I was not familiar with this site. I'm going to do something really quick. I'm just going to do something. GiveSendGo. I'm going to go GiveSendGo, and I'm going to look up news articles about GiveSendGo. All right. Well, this is how bad the situation has gotten. PayPal has blocked Christian crowdfunding site GiveSendGo. All right, here we go. PayPal says it blocked Christian crowdfunding site GiveSendGo. Let's see what they say. PayPal Holdings said on Monday it has blocked the Christian crowdfunding site GiveSendGo after it helped raise funds for people who attended last week's event in Washington when supporters of President Donald Trump stormed the Capitol. Well, we just saw that. There were people there who they raised money to go to Washington to make liberals cry, remember? So now the site is clearly in trouble. That was, all right, so there you go. That's the big story, PayPal. All right, here we go. A Rolling Stone magazine says, why is Christian crowdfunding site letting Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio raise money? There we go. So even Rolling Stone magazine is like, what are Christians doing? This makes Christians look so bad. All right, let me see here. Let's go to another one. Yeah, just a lot about PayPal cutting. Okay, wait a minute. Here's another. This is 3 days ago. Stop the Still organizer Ali Alexander is still making money using online merchandise and fundraising sites. Following this report, GiveSendGo appears to have suspended Ali's ability to raise funds on the site. So Stop the Steal organizer, that's the one who held the big, who according to Politico, claimed responsibility for the Washington, D.C. rally, saying before the event, I was the person who came up with this January 6th idea. The insurrection caused 5 deaths. We can talk about all the other things that happened. So he's the one who organized Stop the Steal, Stop the Steal. He organized it. And then, of course, then chaos ensued and everything happened at the riot, at the place, at the Capitol, the riot and everything that took place. And even after all of that happened, it appears that he was still raising money on the GoSend, or what's the site? GiveSendGo Christian website. And I'm looking here of what he was doing. He's also raising money for himself on a Christian crowdfunding website, GiveSendGo. Although GiveSendGo claims that it's not a place for hatred, abuse, disrespect, profanity, meanness, harassment, or spam, the website is giving Alexander a platform to crowdsource funds. Alexander claims on his fundraising page that his Christian work is being deplatformed by dark corporate forces and political opponents. But again, we see everything that happened. But after this report, how much money did he raise? Let me look here. He raised $20,000. He raised $20,000, what he called Christian work. Stop the Steal campaign. Stop the Steal rally is Christian work now. Stop the Steal is Christian work. Yeah. He raised $20,000. But again, this was updated just a little while ago. It says GiveSendGo appears to have suspended Ali's ability to raise funds on the site. So they stopped. So it appears this site has been in the news for a lot of things and raising money where they're raising money for things where the world is going, what are you doing? And Christians never understand that. So I'm going to be out of time here because I got to get ready for Sunday school. This is the troubling world of Christianity now. Even a Christian website dedicated to supposedly raising money for Christian causes have now allowed their site to be hijacked by far right-wing political groups, maybe far-right extremist groups, and for them to raise money and claiming that that's somehow a part of the Christian mission. That just shows you what I've constantly keep preaching, that Christianity is so politically hijacked that biblical Christianity is being written out of existence. And there is another example. So the name of the site, let me pull it up again because I don't want to say it incorrectly. And again, this is all information that I'm just still working through all of this. So, we have a lot to still figure out. GiveSendGo is the name of the site. Feel free to go to GiveSendGo. It's GiveSendGo.com, I believe. Let me click on this, make sure I've got the right address. Yeah, GiveSendGo.com. Feel free to go look at the site for yourself. Look at all the different categories. Look at all the different things that they are supporting. I'm hoping that they're going to start cleaning it up a little bit. You can draw your own conclusions. If you want to spend some time looking at it, and if you see something that's truly disturbing, then send it to me at newsif@yahoo.com. Newsif@yahoo.com. They have categories here: mission, medical, memorial, family, community, church. What you can see all. Yeah. You have adoption, animal pets, business, church, community, competitive, creative, current events, education, emergency, evangelism, event, memorial, medical, legal, family, nonprofit, and mission. Those are all the different things that you can give money to. So, all right, there you have it. You can look at it for yourself and see what they come up with and what they find. Yeah. And it looks like people raised some pretty serious money on here. It looks like pretty much, a lot. Yeah. I'm just in here trying to understand what they're doing and what they're trying to accomplish. But there you go. Yeah. So I'm just looking at the site. You can look at it for yourself. Tell me what you discover, what you think. Is this another example of Christianity being hijacked? There you go. So there's the article. There you have it. There's everything I know currently. I'm not going to be dogmatic. The author of the article was extremely dogmatic. You're going to support someone who stole a banner from a church and it was arrested with illegal firearms, and Christians are going to raise money to pay for his legal defense. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's a lot of different ways you could look at this. I'm trying to think of what would be the alternative way of looking at it, but there you have it. That you can draw your own conclusions, and we may come back and talk about that at a later time. But right now, I've got to get ready for the Sunday School Hour. So thank you for listening. Kind of an impromptu thrown together, just getting the information out there. It looks like there's lots of news articles about that website, and you can do your own research and draw your own conclusion. All right, thanks for listening. Everyone have a great day. God bless.